Good evening, Kyber Cave Productions family. It's Mezzo here saying hello to you. Van's just figuring out his tech issues that he's been having. He's going to be signing in shortly. And I think he's just going to be doing it from his phone this evening. And yes, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I kind of like to view myself as the mom of KCP sometimes. So there's my mom part there for KCP. um and so I hope you all are doing well. I hope you've had a nice weekend. Um, Mine's been pretty good. I did Mother's Day last night with my mom and took her out to Olive Garden for a nice dinner. I let her choose where to go. You've been a mother to deal with all year. I like that. That's funny. Anyway, so until Van signs in, I want to remind you guys of the show we have coming up. We have one called The New Order, which Captain Lady Moon, aka Aubrey, on our channel, who is the co-creator of it with Melody Mitchell. And it's a role-playing game, kind of sit-down adventure writing game that we've been playing. And we actually have 9 episodes recorded, and we're working on editing them so they can come out in a series for all of you. And we hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, we also have Retro Alcove every Monday evening. And that is done by Graveyard, who has been doing some really cool reviews of also some devices. And so if you want to check those out, Retro Alcove, Monday evenings, roughly 5:15 p.m. Pacific time is when those are released. We also have Saturday Morning Nerd Out, which is on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific. Yesterday, we took that Saturday off. But I think it's coming back this Saturday, where we talk about lots of nerdy news and trailers and our opinions on them. And sometimes we even have a big show coming up when we kind of do theories and such as that as well. So that is your news for that. So now we actually have a different type of news to discuss. Yes, we have the nerdy news, you guys. Oh, wow. I'm like gigantic there. So first on the nerdy news is Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. This is a cool show coming up with Gaten Matarazzo, who is also in Stranger Things as Destin. If you just kind of like hadly recognize the name, he's actually a nerf herder. I think it was the term I saw in the article, which kind of made me giggle. I'm going to go ahead and post the article in the chat. I just did them backwards, but anyway. Both nerdy news articles are in the chat, and if you're watching the upload, they are listed in the description below. But Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy will be premiering on Disney Plus soon. Next, we have Darksiders Rejoice with Revenge of the Sixth reveals. So, like if you see on the top left there's a shirt that says Revenge of the Sixth. So these are different Sith merchandise that you can get. You can check it out. And hi, Duran, how are you? You can check that out in the description below. Or in the chat if you're watching now. That is your nerdy news for today. I think some of them look really cool, like that watch. Like I love black and red color combo. And look, just like my headphones and my band right now. And that watch is pretty sick looking. And I'm like kind of, even though I'm very like Jedi close to my heart kind of thing, I'm like, well, that watch, I might turn to the dark side for that watch. The mall waffle maker. Ooh, I know my Christmas list. Yeah, Ashley, that Darth Maul waffle maker is pretty neat. I think it'd be really cool. Like your family comes over for Christmas and you're making waffles for everybody, and it's all Darth Maul waffles. Could you imagine? That would be really, really funny. And there is Mr. Ark Excala. We are talking about the nerdy news, sir. This is the merchandise for the Sith that came out on the 6th of May. I don't think he hears me yet. And that's okay. So that is your nerdy news for today. I thought those were kind of some fun articles to show you. There's even looks like a really cool ship in the bottom right that you could get in Lego and build. Can you hear me, Van?
No, 1 second.
Wait, I just said, can you hear me? And he said no.
Yeah, no, I could, but it wasn't great. I had to change my settings.
Okay. I was just doing the nerdy news without you. If you want to,
I know.
look. Rebuild the Galaxy, Lego Star Wars, okay, with Gaten Matarazzo from Stranger Things, who plays Dustin, and Revenge of the Sith, and it came out on the 6th, merchandise for the Sith. I can't even speak. And we were all talking about the Darth Maul waffle maker there. So
You know what? That's been one of the great Star Wars debates within the Star Wars fandom that I think we should settle as a group right now. Do you guys say Revenge of the Fifth or Revenge of the Sixth? I always say Revenge of the Sixth because I feel like the word Sith is like literally right there in the word six.
I'm kind of indifferent, I guess. I said when I had it up there, I said I have Jedi close to my heart, but that watch makes me want to go to the dark side because it looked pretty sick.
Right.
Anyway, but that was your nerdy news for today.
And
yeah, you missed the music. There, that was my reenactment of it. Next, guys, we have James Kaiser, who is a producer on our show, who does flow of the show, and he brings us. Yes.
Oh, I just wanted to apologize to everybody really quickly. I'm on my phone. If you haven't been able to tell again, I promise in the next few weeks we'll get this video audio thing figured out. I think I just have bad internet connection at my house, so I may need to start trying to figure out how to do this from the shop again. But I do want to apologize for all the weird angles. But I am just so you know, I am not able to see the comments, Mez.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so especially when we go into the interview, if somebody has a specific question, I may need you just to come on and ask it yourself instead of starring it because I won't be able to see it.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Sounds good. All right. So James Kaiser, who is our Night Vision, said when he asked about Revenge of the Fifth or Sixth, he said it depends on how much I drink on the fourth. That's what he said.
See, that's why I feel like we already have a fun holiday on the 5th. I know it doesn't have to do with Star Wars, but it's still.
Yes. All right. So next, guys, we have Flow of the Show, brought to us by James Kaiser. He goes and finds out all of the excuse me, flow of the show. It's something visually mesmerizing, whether it be gloving, saber spinning, of course, fire dancing. We've seen so many different kinds that were really cool. That I'm really excited for you guys to see. So please enjoy this week's flow, Darcy Winterthorn.
Woo!
All right. So that was Darcy Winterthorn. In Indo Skyfire, I know you're excited to see Mr. Mike Berger, but the whole yawn comment to me is not very appreciated. So please don't say that again. Thank you. Yeah, not bad though. You're trying to backpedal for me getting after you. I see that. All right. Can you hear me, Mr. Arctic Scholar?
I can't. I'm so sorry.
Okay, it's okay.
I
It is
feel
time.
terrible.
You can feel terrible all you want, sir. It's
I will have to
just
say, I got to see the beginning of that flow segment, and that flow in front of that brick wall looked amazing.
yeah, there was a cool movement that Darcy Winterthorn was doing that is kind of it almost looked like a backwards movement with the way she was moving the saber. I
Right.
because of Darcy, that's just all of it. How are my favorite saber holders? Ty the Devil Hunter says, asks, I think they're doing well. It's just Van has terrible internet. Please look at his computer.
What's up, Ty?
His phone is fine because it's just got a better connection for some reason. Yeah, Swisted Film says, "Hey Van, put more coal in your phone." I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know, right? This
Um,
phone came over on the Mayflower, so I might have to do that.
oh, okay. All right. Well, it's time to introduce our guest, sir. Feel free to do that.
I am excited about our next guest. Our next guest has been on the show a couple of times before in the past. Always fun to talk to and learn how his organization is growing and changing over the years, and it has grown a lot. In some interesting ways too, especially since COVID has happened. He is a regular viewer on this show, so we often get to see his comments and enjoy him in the audience. But this time, he is on the other side of the camera. So, with no further ado, please give it up for Mr. Mike Berger of the Jedi Council of America. Mr. Berger,
Hey, Ben.
how you doing tonight?
Doing good.
It's good to see you on this side of the screen again. It seems like once a year or so we got to pop in and see how the JCA is doing.
Oh, yeah, everyone's well.
So
Yeah,
how
Ben,
is the JCA doing? You guys have been it seems like every time I talk to you, you guys are growing faster and faster.
Oh, yeah, we just opened up in Ontario, Canada.
Woohoo! Is
So
that
that's
your
our new-
is that your first international organization?
Oh, no, we've got Nova Scotia, British Columbia. The one picture you showed that was from Holland. We're in Taiwan, Japan, the UK,
Wow.
Australia. We're at 13 international chapters.
Wow. That is
And 2 of them
amazing.
are Canadian provinces.
Right. You only hear about those kind of numbers from the groups like Rebel Legion and 501st. That is amazing that your group has that kind of numbers.
Yeah, we've grown fast, solid reputation, more worried about the quality of the person in the costume.
Right, right. Well, for those who may not know what JCA is, of course we do. We love you around here. And some of the regulars that may have been watching this show for a long time probably know who the JCA is, but new people may not know. Why don't you let people know what your organization is, how long you've been around, and what you do?
Well, we're another costume group. I call us Option B because we take everybody.
Wow.
On the costumes, so we let original characters fly. We started in 2015. It was me, a couple friends, an idea. So we went from a small town in southeast Michigan to 41 states, 13 countries, and we're always growing.
What year did you say you started?
2015.
2015. So in 9 years, you guys have been able to expand to all these countries.
Right. And I didn't
And
think outside of our state.
on top of that, you've been doing that during COVID. being an issue as well. What do you think? What do you think is responsible for your fast growth?
Well, I know there are problems with being a large group. You know, you get those less than savory people. So I think COVID with people sitting still and the 501st had a really big group pickup that kind of blew up in their face.
Yeah,
So I think the combination of those two really helped us grow. It's like, hey, there's option B. We can go over here. How do we start in Nevada? How do we start in North Carolina? How do we start in Australia? And go, well, let's get a few members, get going. And they're like, I got 35 friends ready to go. Oh,
right,
we got chips going.
right. And I think at least for me, or from what I understand from people, one of the things that makes JCA so attractive is they're not as stringent. People are more. It seems like you're more allowed to have fun with your characters that you create, and you can be a part of the Star Wars world without having to buy, the exact measurements as some of the other groups may require of you.
Yes, we're more flexible on the costumes. I've never met a fan that asked me if I was movie accurate, ever.
Right. And I know oftentimes you talk about like you'll talk about Ashley Eckstein has been inducted into our group, or you'll have people meet celebrities at conventions and they are inducted into the JCA. What exactly does that mean?
It's kind of like the 501st does. We do a certificate. Um, it's basically acknowledging their efforts into the Star Wars universe, and it's the comic creators, it's the writers, it's um, voice actors, it's actors. So it's our appreciation to them and what they brought us from Star Wars.
Right. Has there been? Have you had a chance to meet any celebrities or anyone from I don't know, behind the scenes in the Lucas camp that you were fanboy over?
I've met quite a few already. I was at Celebration Anaheim,
Hmm.
and Anthony Daniels, Daniel Logan, Amy Allen. I've met a few, and then some of the cons around here. I know Ashley Eckstein knew who we were before we walked up to her, so she made it a point to know who I was.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so she wanted me to go over and say hi at Celebration because Florida chapter honored her. Oh, Jedi Council America, I've heard of you guys. She said, "What? It's all good, right?"
Right.
You know, the whole that reputation is important. You know, so we make sure we filter out the bad people. You know, the ones you don't want out there representing you.
I do remember right around. I don't remember exactly what it was, and we really don't need to rehash it because it's it doesn't have to do with you. But I do remember right around the end of COVID, there was some controversy with a couple of the cosplay groups, and people were doubting if it was something that they wanted to do anymore. So that sounds like that would have been a great time for them to find JCA.
Right. Actually, it was about the start of COVID that was one of the other big groups, and it got really ugly really fast.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why we focus more on the code of conduct, so we don't get those touchy feely people. We don't get the politics or drama.
Right. Oh, and before we go on, I see Say Wong's on there, and he has a good point. I forgot to say Happy Mother's Day to everybody who is joining us on Mother's Day here.
Oh yeah,
like the mom of KCP.
That's right. You are the mom of KCP.
Right, and happy Mother's Day to my daughter Ashley Burns. She's watching tonight.
Excellent. I think I saw her in the comments there. Is cosplay something that you do as a whole family?
She just started getting into it. She's down in Houston, so she just recently joined our Texas chapter. So I took her to her first con there in Houston, and we got to honor Brent Spiner at that one.
Right. Of all the different things you could do in life, I mean, you could be into race cars, you could be into cooking, you could be into gardening. What is it about cosplay? Why is that where you decided to spend a lot of your time?
Well, it's really for the fans because watching the kids and even some of the adults just love it. And when you interact with them in costume, you're really bringing them into the universe as well. Last weekend was May 4th, so the theater that we started our first public appearance at, we went back to for Phantom Menace. Talked to this little boy. He went and saw the movie. He came out. It's like, I saw you in the movie, Master Qui-Gon.
Right.
So that experience, that interaction, we leave a positive influence,
Right.
and that's the key point of it. I mean, putting a smile on a child's face, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to do.
Right. Excellent point. So you do it for the fun of it, for seeing the reactions on people's faces?
Oh, definitely. Adding the adding the celebrities to it. I mean, I've gotten remembered from quite a few celebrities too.
Excellent. So every time I see you, you're always wearing a Jedi robe. Do you do any other characters?
Not yet. There's one I plan on doing. I'll unveil that when I hit the air with it.
Right. So you like doing one character and sticking to that primarily?
Yes.
Excellent. And let me ask you, of all the different fandoms you could have done, how come Star Wars? How come not Marvel or DC or a horror fandom?
Star Wars is what I remember as a kid. I went and saw the originals in the theater. It's that nostalgia. You think about it. I grew up with Star Wars. My daughter grew up with the prequels. My grandkids are growing up with the sequels. It's a generation of fandom.
Right. It's one of the few fandoms that reaches across every generation that's come out. Kids love the sabers and costumes the most, is what Ashley says.
Yeah.
Excellent. What has been have you had incidents that have made it well, let's go on both ends. Like, what's one of the most memorable and joyous occasions that you can think of? And have there ever been occasions that have come up that have made you doubt why you wanted to do this or think about doing some other hobby? I mean, you don't have to be specific, but just in general.
The most memorable one I would say was opening weekend for Solo. A little boy came to the theater and he was adopted, and this was his first movie, so I played up to him. So I handed him a lightsaber. It's like, you want to be a Padawan and be in the picture with me? And I just grabbed one of the random lightsabers. He turns around, looks at it, and looks up at me. He's like, how did you know orange is my favorite color? I'm a Jedi. I know these things. And I just played right into it.
Right.
And we do have certificates we do for the kids. We hand them out. So I filled one out, put his name on it, signed it as Qui-Gon Jinn. That moment of sincerity when he looked up at me and said, this is my best memory as an American.
Wow.
It was a beautiful moment. I mean, I still feel teary-eyed over that. I mean, I left a lifetime memory with that little
guy. Right. Those are things that you just don't buy.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Do you have experiences that ever make it difficult?
Sometimes. I mean, it's hard to stay in character when they start tugging your heartstrings. You just got to learn to disappear away from the fans for a minute and sort yourself and get back at it.
Right. I see. Ashley says the least favorite time for me is the celebrities that are not so nice after being honored.
There are few. But it's Hollywood. There's two faces to it: the public face and the not so wonderful end of it.
Right.
The other one are the creepy con goers that don't know how to keep their hands to themselves. So we've always been the example. So even other cosplayers know to come find us and hang out with us to get away from creepy, touchy guy.
Right.
So I've been nicknamed Con Dad a few times.
Well, that's a good position to have.
It is. It's a good reputation to have. But, it just adds to the Jedi Council standard.
All right. So let me ask you, you've got that Ontario chapter now. Are they the Jedi Council of America, Ontario, or are they the Jedi Council of Canada?
Jedi Council of Ontario, but it's a group by the Jedi Council of America. So we all have the same group affiliation.
Right. What is the biggest group you've ever walked in with? Like, what is the most JCA people you've had in one spot at a time?
That would be a con here in Detroit called YomaCon. But we also host the Star Wars photo shoot. So we've had 20 plus members at that con in one time.
Oh, wow.
And everybody stops. Okay, all Jedi Council members, group photo. And everybody just looks at us like, you brought an army.
Nice. Do you have a character that I know you have a thing that you're working on as far as a secret character, but do you have a character that you wish you could play that you think is maybe not the right one for you? I'll give you an example. So I was doing a birthday party for a kid, and then I was dressed as all Sith, and I had somebody come up to me and tell me I was a terrible Sith because I smiled too much.
I would look at this like, but it Sith plus. Boy, what I'm just smile even more.
Right.
Be into it by all means, And that's the way to do it.
Mike, have you ever thought about doing like a fan movie? Or have you done one?
I haven't done one. It could be a possibility. It's just there's always something on my plate going on. Next weekend here in Michigan, we got Motor City Comic Con, and there's 6 names that we'll be honoring, including Katie Sackhoff.
Oh, wow.
Simon Casadinas, I might be pronouncing that wrong. He played Axe Wolves. Paul, who played Carson Teva, he's going to be there. John Ratzenberger.
Wow.
We got some decent names up here. I know Chicago, I believe that's in August. We already have Mark Hamill lined up to be honored.
Ooh.
Yes, big name.
Oh, man. And I'm sure he's going to be cool about it, too.
Oh, yeah. Eunice Sotamo. He's going to be
If
there.
you need an editor at all, I mean, I may know one.
Michigan. You guys think as far as ground zero is for us, we have people in all talents.
Mm.
We got people that know electronics, people that do 3D printing. We got people that do video editing.
Wow, when you have an organization that big, you have so many different talents that you can draw on.
Yes, it is. And like I said, keeping the drama out and the politics. And here I am 9 years later, I'm going, wow, did that really happen? So I don't even have the ego.
What do you see? Are there things that you want to accomplish with your group that you haven't yet?
I would love to see some members as extras in one of the shows. I think that would be awesome. Don't even have to
Yeah.
be me, just anybody.
Right, right. I know for Mandalorian, a lot of the people from the 501st were called on for the Stormtrooper extras.
Yeah. And we have that same opportunity as as well as them. It's all groups.
Hmm. That is absolutely amazing. Do you enjoy like going out to like the premieres and you were talking about Solo and being able to meet that little boy who had never been to a movie before. But is there something different about doing the premieres than say going to a con?
Um, One on one with fans. I mean, you'll get a group of them, and they're teenagers and they're big fans, and then you get the little ones that are 6, 8, 10 years old, and they're just bright eyed about the whole thing, and then you get people my age that remember the originals that were there in the theater for the first time.
Right,
It, reliving my childhood in the same sense.
right. Yeah, you will forever be a child when you're hanging out with the other cosplayers, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean I've gotten Spider-Man that wanted a picture of me, and since Spider-Man was always known for the wisecracks, I decided to one up him. And as he's posing for the picture, I look over and it's like, remember to smile for the camera. And he just slowly turned to look at me, and you could see he was grinning from ear to ear under that mask. It's a wisecrack he should have remembered.
Right, right. Do you get people in your group that strive to be movie accurate, say like the 501st or anything? Like, do you get Darth Vaders that have very accurate costumes and stormtroopers
Yes.
and all that?
Well, you got to think because the 501st and their big hiccup, they've had a lot of walkaways.
Hmm.
Where do you think they walked to?
Ah,
Well, we have Wookiees, we have Stormtroopers, we have Darth Vader, Count Dooku, etc. And they are, former 501st. They just had
right,
kind of the drama, and I'll say it. It's not nice to say, but it was dumpster fire. But I think us being around also gives them the opportunity to wake up and say, we need to fix this, and here's why.
right, right. I see a question there from Swisted, our good friend Patrick. I think you kind of answered this, but it says, "Are your members allowed to be in fan films?" You had talked about, it would be nice to be one, but you're legally allowed to be in them, right? Because a fan film doesn't anybody can make one, correct?
Oh yeah, it's non-commercial. We're not paid for it, so under Lucas's rules, that's perfectly fine. If our crew wanted to do a fan film and show up, I I endorse it 100%.
Right,
And Ashley, yes, 100%. The children's hospitals are fantastic, emotionally trying sometimes, but they are fantastic.
yeah. I saw her comment about wanting to do the hospitals. Is that something that you do often?
We got our foot in the door just before COVID hit, so we were starting to do it, and then COVID hit, so we'll probably get back into that. But I always encourage our members, yeah, if you can visit the kids that are in the hospital because they don't get many visitors, parents work. So giving them that little bit of brightness to their day.
Right.
Again, emotionally trying. Remember where the bathroom is. Disappear, clean up, round two.
Do the children have a preference for Jedi or Sith? I say red blade for life.
You get a fan of both. That's why we have it honorary Sith apprentice and an honorary Jedi Padawan certificates for the kids. We do both.
Excellent. Do you have big plans for this year? Like, do your groups ever get together and do like JCA type events? Like, I don't know, like a JCA specific con or convention or something like that.
We've been talking about that. We probably will try to pull something off next year for our 10th because that's a big landmark, and who knows how many more chapters we'll have open by then.
Right. Right. You could get a bunch of the chapters together and, meet in Vegas or something. Let's see. There's a comment down here. If you see me going like this, it's because I have bifocals on, so I'm trying to read the little comments that are coming in at the bottom.
Yeah, Patrick is our webmaster,
Mm-hmm.
and from one of his phone auto corrects, he also cosplays as Kylo.
Oh, nice.
His autocorrect decided to say Kyle, so our inner joke in the group is it's Kyle the web technician. If you know the Saturday Night Live skit with Matt the radar technician.
Right.
Nod to that.
Now, do you have a Matt the radar tech in your group?
No. But we got Kyle the web tech.
I guess that's close enough. Do you guys are you planning on going out to Japan this year?
As far as I know, we have at least one from Michigan. I know some of the Taiwan chapter and some of the Japan chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to attempt to get a fan table. But as many fan groups as there are, we don't always get it.
Right. Well, but you guys are one of the bigger fan groups, right? I mean, right behind Rebel Legion and 501st, I would think JCA is right up there.
Yes, we got not of acknowledgement from the local mercs as okay. Now there's a big four, and we're included in that now. So that was appreciated.
Wow. But I'm sure that makes it a lot easier for you to get into some of these events because people have actually heard of the JCA.
Oh yeah, we've been tracked down a few times. Last weekend we had a TV station out in Grand Rapids, Michigan that wanted to do an interview with us, and it's like, okay, VP, that's your area. You can walk into the studio, you can do the interview, and that aired on May 4th.
Right. So, Mike, what do you ever do any traveling yourself? Do you try to get out to like say the Florida chapters or visit the California chapters, or do you pretty much stay in your area and kind of manage from a distance?
Mostly managed from the distance. I've gone down to Houston, but that was also to visit my daughter. I've been out to California. One of the smaller groups, their founder wanted to meet me because, as far as they're concerned, we are the example to look up to.
Right.
So that was Star Wars Morale missions.
What is the biggest of all your chapters?
Michigan is. It's ground zero. Just like 501st, North Carolina, they're huge there.
Right. Well, are there other chapters that are catching up to that one?
Pennsylvania's doing really good. I think they're pushing about 100 already. Utah is also pushing about 100, but they're also one of the headlines for FanX, the big con out there.
Right.
Well, they do the stage lightsaber fights, so they're put on stage. They're even part of the commercial now.
Oh, so yeah. Your group out there is actually part of the FanX show?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they do a full lightsaber stage combat.
That's great.
Are and grow.
Phoenix is one of the bigger traveling cons too, right?
I think you're thinking Fan Expo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Phoenix is a little bit different. I think there's a couple of them. So Salt Lake City is one of their bigger Utah cons. So they draw in a pretty good crowd. Florida is probably a little over 100. Ohio is doing really good with about 130.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we're getting the same numbers, if not more, as the other three groups.
Right. Those are good sized groups. Do you leave it up to the individual groups to like kind of monitor themselves in that say for example Florida, you know that Florida Con, it's a big con that happens every year. Do you leave it to that Florida group to kind of organize that event and make see all the people that are going, or do you step in for some of those bigger ones?
I'll always point them out, but it's up to that chapter. The only thing we worry about is the quality of the people, or if they're
Right.
going off of the format. But it's a successful format. We don't have any toxic people. That's our standard.
Right. Right. Not having toxic people around, especially in large groups like that. I mean, it does so much for your organization. Just
Right,
having one or two bad apples can just make it not fun for everybody.
right. Like the 501st, the whole group isn't bad. It's the two over here, the three over there, and I mean, we work with the Pennsylvania Rebel Legion, and they'll plug our name too. I mean, they're wonderful people. Um, Ohio chapter, I will defend them to the bitter end. They are fantastic.
Right. Right.
Michigan needs to improve how they talk to people when they critique costumes.
Well,
Well, there's room for improvement.
I was even seeing in the comments down there, Say Wong was saying that some of those groups can be toxic and elitist.
Yes, some of them are elitist. We had one that's like, well, you're doing the sporting events. You need to follow our rules. I'm going, no, we need to follow Lucas's rules.
Right.
They're like, well, you know how long we've been doing this? Yes, and I know your reputation.
Right.
And that 9 times out of 10, they're going, what did you hear? I hear from all of them. I can say
Right.
Florida loves to hang out with our guys because we are the fun group. So it's nice to not be so serious all the time.
Right.
Um, I can start throwing specific ones under the bus as far as how bad they are. But
Right.
again, I got a reputation to uphold
Yeah, I saw a message from there. Swisted Patrick said that gatekeepers kind of ruin it for everybody, but that you have gatekeepers in every fandom.
to.
There's always
Right.
gatekeepers, keepers of people that take it way too seriously, is what he was saying.
Yeah, there are some like that depending on where you are. Like I said, it's not all of them. It's just the few bad ones that get the bad reputation out there. So
Right.
we had a couple, I've had one guy walk into the Michigan chapter. Hey, where's all the hot girls at?
Oh
Next
wow.
door. Bye. We won't. We
Wow.
won't. No,
Yeah.
not fun if the females have to worry about, who's going to be breathing down their neck, giving them googly eyes and making inappropriate comments. That's no
Right.
longer enjoyable.
Vision Magazine says we always follow the Lucas rules and be approachable. What are some of the Lucas rules? I'm sure that he has certain way. I mean, Lucasfilm and Disney have certain ways they want their characters represented. If you're out in public, I'm sure you can't, curse and be drinking beers and acting all crazy.
Well, the drinking beers thing, that's kind of our code of conduct. But Lucas are pretty straightforward and pretty simple things, which is we're nonprofit.
Right.
Yes, we never, but we're out to make money to begin with. We are not part of Lucas or Disney, and we can't do commercial appearances, so we can't show up at Walmart, plug whatever. Um, Other than that, we can't use their images without copyright permissions.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's free reign, except for at games. They encourage us not to throw out the puck or the bat ball. Bring a kid out instead. Um, don't pose on the team logo.
Right.
But there are certain rules that we apply. Like, since we do the stage combat, don't duel a fan because somebody might get hurt, or the fact that we don't know if they have a quality lightsaber or something cheap. So if we break their lightsaber, we look bad.
Right.
So if it's hurt, we look bad.
Right. For fairly easy to follow, not too bad. Hey, we've got a great comment or a question here by Melissa Pips, maybe. It says, do they run chapters for kids with disabilities to teach them how to use the lightsaber? Not sure if this is the topic. Do you have people with disabilities in your groups?
Yes, we have a couple of people with special needs. Autism is always in the forefront these days.
Right.
It's diagnosed quite often. So as long as they're manageable, we'll teach them how to put on a stage lightsaber fight. We try.
So everybody's welcome in the JSA or JCA.
Right. We don't hold any class or separation up. You're a member. It don't matter if you're gay, transgender, Catholic, Mormon, black. It don't matter.
Right.
Rule number one: are you a decent person? Yeah. Okay, come on in. You have a decent job? Sure. Okay.
Right. Right. Mike, we're getting ready to come near the end. Is there any goals or anything you see for the JCA in the next few years that you want to accomplish? Places that we should be looking out for you guys?
Well, there's 9 more states to go yet, so I'd love to see them build up over the next couple of years. I'd love to see Germany and Switzerland and the rest of Canada. The potential is out there.
It is absolutely amazing what you were able to do and pull together in just 9 short years, my friend.
Social media has been a big help.
Right. I can imagine it has been, especially with having to shut down everything for a while with COVID.
Right. We didn't physically do anything, but we blew up in those 2 years of COVID.
Wow.
And now that we have the name and the reach and the numbers and the reputation, it's just going.
It's amazing. You're doing amazing work out there, Mike. I commend you. Tony Negron was on earlier. He was saying he always loves watching you and seeing what your organization does. It's just amazing how fast you're growing and how much everybody loves the JCA.
Right. We kept the reputation, and that's the main thing,
Right. I think that's the most important part.
Well, when you get good people and they have fun, it's no longer work. It's a family reunion.
Right.
So we're out there with other groups like the Ghostbusters. That's another one of the big groups outside of Star Wars. And we always have a blast with them.
Right. Well, I thank you for hanging out with us on so many of the Sunday nights that you hang out with us. And then the couple of times that I've had the privilege to interview you, it's always been fun. It's always good to see what the JCA is doing. I appreciate you being out there, brother.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you for staying up late with us. For anybody in the audience who wants more information on the JCA, there's going to be links down in the description. You can always contact Mike, and Mike can be happy to let you know if there's a chapter in your area. If not, I'm sure he'd be happy to let you know how you can create a chapter in your area, especially if you're one of those 9 states he doesn't have knocked off the list yet. All right, thank you so much, Mike, and we will see you later. And you're getting a lot of love there in the comments. Thanks so much, Mike.
All right. See you next time.
All right.
All right. Ow.
That is so cool. We always see him in the comments, so it's so much fun talking to him and seeing like how they're expanding.
Yeah, and you see like over the time after since the last time he was on, he's been on once since I joined, so it hasn't been that I recall at least. So
Okay.
it's nice to see like the changes over time and how much they've grown, which is pretty awesome to see. So thank you so
Right,
much
and all of this
for
in just
letting me know.
9 years, which blows me away.
Yeah, and that's pretty awesome. It's sometimes a lot of people when it comes to starting something and sticking with it and keeping it going for as long as they have is pretty awesome. So thank
Excellent.
you so much for coming on the show and sharing about your organization and how much it's grown and changed and the things you want to do as well in the future. So I see there's lots of plans.
And speaking of growing and changing, Mezzo, I want to remind people, and I want to thank everybody who has come out to the new Kyber Cave storefront. We are now in the Vacaville outlets inside of All Funked Up, 131 Nut Tree C. I don't know what the C means exactly, but I want to thank everybody for coming and checking us out. We've had a lot of new people, a lot of people that we recognize. So it's been really cool, and we've only been there for just over a week now. So it's been a strong start. I'm excited to see more people, but that does not mean, like, for instance, next weekend I will be in Ontario, California for the con happening down there. I know it's going to be the voice actors from Clone Wars are going to be there. So I will be there for that next weekend, and then the weekend after that is. I believe it's Powerhouse in Fresno. So we're going to be spending 2 weekends in a row in Southern California.
Oh, have fun. I will be here next week. Our guests are a husband and wife cosplay duo, Hawkeye cosplay and Callie cosplay. They are often Hawkeye and Coach Carter, but she's also Ahsoka Tano. He also does Mandalorian, and he's like very. When I look at him, it's like I can't tell if I'm seeing Jeremy Renner or Pedro Pascal. He's like a good mix of the two. He looks like both of them. We met them at VacaCon here when the convention happened, when I was hanging out with John D. Michaels and Van, like going back and forth between the booths saying hi. So they're going to be on the show. And the week after that is Chris Bartlett, guys. You want to tell them who that is?
Woo! C-3PO.
Does that mean I'm interviewing him?
You're oh, I guess you are. Wait, I guess you are, huh?
Oh no.
Okay. Wait a minute. Wait, is that right?
You said the next 2 Sundays, the 19th and 26th, and he's here on the 26th, dude.
No. I will know. I think I will be doing him because when I do OmegaCon, we'll have a hotel room.
Okay. Like it's just like the pressure. I was like, I gotta start doing my homework real good because if you guys don't know, Van and I have vastly different approaches to interviews. Van likes to kind of chill and like you're having a drink together or dinner, like and just chatting about business or what you're passionate about off the cuff. I do my homework and I write notes and questions down. And so I approach it very differently. So I'm like, oh, I gotta get moving. Wouldn't that really? Melissa Phipps says, "I wish she could get Hayden Christensen to make an appearance. That would be really cool." cool. Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, that
Awesome.
would be very, very cool. But
I've
our guests for next week actually know Tara Strong on a first name personal basis.
yes,
So
they do.
and,
He knows Tara pretty well.
and for those of you who have followed this show for a long time, may know that my running joke is if I get Tara on the show, I can finally shut the show down.
Like you didn't say anything. You like the mezzo method, Tony. He likes the doing homework method of an interview. I do that. Like so when I had some questions and stuff up for when we had the Ladies of Lightsaber night. And I wrote up a huge amount of questions, but there was a lot of questions to ask and a lot of people to answer them. So I was trying to keep it as orderly as possible as well.
All right. For
And
those
then
that haven't seen that show, you go back and watch in our archives. We have an episode. You can just type in the search Kyber Cave and then Ladies of Lightsaber. That was a fantastic episode. In fact, that was your first interview, wasn't it? First time you ran an interview?
I think it was my first interview on Kyber Cave Productions, like officially. It was like the first planned one because I think there was one where I had to jump in for a few seconds when you had tech issues, which is so common. But this was like my first official like one. And if you guys are curious, we're actually booked solid through July 7th.
Wow.
So yeah, which is pretty awesome. So we're gonna be very busy. I'm actually thinking about making a graphic to show our schedule over the next, 7 weeks or so, so people can see what they. Tony, stop it. He says, "You're just too kind." So you guys who's coming up. We have a lot of great people. We've got Odin who like makes huge statues.
Odin makes.
Yeah, it makes huge statues for the Emmys. We've got
and he makes wearable cosplay that is amazing.
Yes. And then Tony brought us Karen, who's actually like an 8th degree black belt who's been in some action stunts and movies and such like that. So we've got a lot of even more. We've got so many. It's hard to keep track because there's so many happening at once. Oh, we have a science fiction writer as well, Jeff, that's coming on. So we've got a lot of really cool people coming up. I'll go ahead and make a graphic so you all can just on the KCP Facebook page, you can see what our schedule is going to be like. I won't be here for a good portion of them because here, as I told you guys last week, on June 9th, I leave. It was my first official night on vacation from KCP for a little while. So I know you're very sad, Van. No. I have been on the channel since April 28th. That was my first show of 2022.
Woohoo!
And I have technically not had a week off since. Even if I didn't host, I still edited everything. Say Wong just found out. He's saying no. And I will enjoy my vacation, Kevin. I definitely will. I just want to. I just need some time off. I'm tired. I just need to take a break. And I do, Wong. I do feel like I deserve it. It has been a good. And we've grown a lot. When I first joined, and I keep track of numbers just for like growth reasons to see. When I joined the channel, we had 468 subscribers. And now we have over 1,840.
That's right. We picked up 1,400 subscribers in the 2 years.
Yeah, and it was like already going for 2 years at the time I joined. So like there's a bunch of growth there, and I'm very proud of that. But I'm also tired. So I planned on a 5-week vacation. I actually one of the reasons we're planning with so many guests ahead of time is the first 2 weekends I'm not here. I'll still have edited for the show ahead of time.
Right. And we have amazing guests that will be coming on in Mez's place. So you guys are probably familiar with Aubrey, the captain. Graveyard will be here. Our good friend Tony Negron will be on the show.
In the comments now.
In the comments now. And of course I'll be here. Sorry, guys. The one disappointment, Tony, I will be here.
That's the plan is if you get tired, I love doing KCP, but sometimes you just get tired in general. So like you need to take a break from something, and KCP is the one thing I have done nonstop for 2 years, and I want to take a break and then come back and be like, yes, I missed you all. Let's
refresh, rejuvenate.
Refresh.
I want to make a really quick comment because I saw Night Vision. First off, I want to thank you for watching our past show, Hearts of Kyber. He made a comment. He was like, "You guys started off really strong on mental health issues and ended on tuberculosis." I want to let you know that the reason we ended there is we were going in groups of body types. So I guess tuberculosis probably wasn't
They were doing
the highest note.
respiratory specifically.
But
during
if
that
that
time,
is
I
a
think.
show that you enjoy and you would like to see come back, it is possible that show could come back, especially if we have. Hey, what are you doing? That's mine. Especially if we have people that are watching or have suggestions for shows that they would like to see. When we first started, it was John and I, and the whole thing started by talking about mental health conversations. But as the show kept going, we made it over 50 shows in that series. We were
Uh,
looking for other parts of the body and things to talk about.
Say Wong, the Build Show is on Distance Nerding. It's not KCP. So After Dark, yes, After Dark was a hard and soft topic show where there was a discussion among guests and their opinions on like hot topics that were happening at the time. Hard ones are like more difficult to discuss. That was always considered an 18 plus show. And it was kind of like an attempt to reinvent it with unpopular opinion, which we had a few episodes of. But that also tend to be about 2 hours and recording for me
Right.
to go through. But yeah,
It was
we also
a lot more work than we had intended. And right now, Mez is caught up with. We have
okay.
our first order, our new order show coming
Yeah.
out, which has been taking a
The
lot.
First Order, you're just so used to Star Wars.
Yeah, it's been resource intensive. I'm excited for it. Once it comes out, I really think you guys are going to enjoy it. But it has been resource intensive.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of like pre-production work, and then the editing is also a lot. We have 2+ hour recordings of us doing it that I have to go through and edit and change camera angles and everything, and like adjust and clip and zoom and whatnot. So it does take a good amount of time. I do have a gaming series that will come up on the channel eventually, and thank you, Yoda. Yoda, oh Yoda.
Yoda.
I actually picked up Star Wars Fallen Order yesterday.
Yeah.
The deluxe edition. Cal Kestis's journey, I actually don't know his story. And so I've never really watched play gameplay or their playthrough or anything like that. Because I know I'd always want to eventually play it. I wanted it to be like a surprise for me. So I will be playing that and recording myself doing it for you guys on the channel. It might be something I do just for fun when I'm on vacation. I don't know yet. But yeah.
And we still have Retro Alcove on Mondays as well, and Saturday Morning Nerd Out on Saturday mornings at 10 a.m.
Yes, we do. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. You guys
love you
have
guys.
an awesome evening. Enjoy Talk of the Town, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Don't forget to share, comment with your friends so we can get this show out. We want to give another Saber away, and I want to say we're like 60 some odd people away from the next Saber giveaway. So please share and get more subscribers.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Bye.
Peace.